The act of giving someone permission to give you feedback, is that a useful way for in these situations where I'm afraid to embarrass you, or I'm afraid to embarrass myself by telling you something that might embarrass you?
Yeah,
Is that a useful
it
way to
is,
start?
and I tell people, yeah, there's a great way to start, and it's just calling it out in the beginning. Obviously, this is a one-on-one conversation. I tell people all the time: praise in public, correct and coach in private. Like, don't coach in front of the whole team. Don't correct in front of the whole team. So ask somebody to come individually, take them to coffee, meet in the office, something like that, and say, this has the potential to be an awkward conversation. I'm just going to throw that out there. But in order for us to be our best, I need to talk about this thing. I want you to be successful here. In order for you to be successful, we need you to do X, whatever X is, right? And right now, you're just not doing that. And so I think calling it out in the beginning to say, this is going to be awkward. I'm not trying to offend you. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of you. I want you to be successful here. In order for you to be successful, we need to make sure we're doing this. And this is from a leadership standpoint. This wouldn't be peer-to-peer. This would be from a leadership standpoint. But oftentimes, what I've found, it's the leaders who are afraid to have these conversations because they don't want to have to replace this person if they leave. They don't want it to be awkward every day in the office when they see them. Just call it out in the beginning and say, man, this has the potential to be awkward. But I care too much about you to not have this conversation. And if you ever need anything from me, you come let me know. Right? You've given them permission to come in, talk to you about problems they're having because you cared enough to have an awkward conversation with them. And nobody has told them this thing before. And so in the moment, they may be sad, they may be hurt, they may be offended. Later, once they've settled down, there's a good chance they're going to come back and say, you know what, I needed to hear that. I wasn't doing my calls like I should have. I wasn't keeping up with my logs like I should have. I appreciate you giving me a chance to correct it. In the moment, they might get defensive because they feel like they're attacked. But later on, once they've settled down, they'll realize you cared enough to course correct them along the way.
And it doesn't have to be a super emotional conversation if I'm not comfortable around emotions. It can be a very straightforward, logical, rational. Hey Scott, notice you got some broccoli in your teeth. Knew you wouldn't want to be walking around with that all day. Thought you'd like to know.
Yes. And then you can even disclose after that. Say, I got home one day with a piece of broccoli in mine. I had no idea how long it was in there. So I promised myself that day I would never let somebody else have a day like I had. And then it becomes a joke. It becomes something you did to save them the embarrassment you had at another point.
And that helps build the emotional rapport with each other so that you can have those deeper conversations and awkward conversations more easily next time.
Yes. And I tell people all the time, when you're having these deeper, more awkward conversations, there's going to come a point in the conversation where their verbals do not match their nonverbals. For example, you say, how are things going today? And they're like, well, they're fine. I mean, they're fine. Their words are saying they're fine. Their nonverbals are telling you that it's not fine. And when those two things don't match, the truth is always in the nonverbals. It's very easy to fake our words. It's very difficult to fake the nonverbal, the tone, the body language, that kind of stuff. And so when they give you an answer like that, that's flippant and rehearsed or something like that, and you can say, man, it doesn't feel like it's fine. And they may tell you it's fine, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, that's fair. If you do want to talk about it, though, you let me know. And then you give them some time. And then you come back maybe the next day and check on them. Are things any better today? You don't have to know what the problem is, that you both know there was a problem. You can say, are things any better today? They might give you a yes or no. They might actually tell you what was going on. But you picked up in their nonverbals and you realized that what they were saying was not the truth. They weren't lying to you out of maliciousness. They were lying to you. Maybe they weren't ready to talk about it. Maybe it wasn't a work-based problem and they didn't want to bring that to work, whatever it is. but you've let them know that you care enough to pick up on their nonverbals and realize that they're not as okay as they want the world to seem, just like the rest of us. None of us are okay as we would like the world to believe we are.
I like those words. Are things any better today? It's a nice way to show that you care, show that you know that they were hurting yesterday, and that you hope things are turning around without having to get into any of the specifics they may not want to go into.
Yeah. And if they say no, an easy follow-up question is, can I help? What can I do to help? And if they say there's nothing you can do, okay, if there ever is, please don't hesitate to ask. And then you can leave it, because not everybody is as comfortable having these conversations as I am. And I'm not going to force them on anybody. But just letting them know, to your point, that I know things are not okay. And if I can help in any way, I want to do that.
What is the business value of having all these awkward conversations?
Yeah, interesting that you ask this, because I've been researching this lately. Because this is one of those things that businesses don't want to invest in. They don't want to invest in communication training because, one, they assume people can do it, or two, they think they're going to get some woo-woo. There's not going to be any ROI on this or anything. It's just going to be a wasted training session. And what the research pretty consistently tells us is about 18% of your payroll is spent on deciphering miscommunication. Meaning, if you're paying somebody 40 hours a week, it's almost a full day of their week that they're trying to read between the lines and figure out miscommunication. What do they mean by this? They didn't really explain this, so I'm going to guess at what they wanted, and I may not do it right, but I don't want to ask them. And so you're investing about 18% of your salary in miscommunication. And so if you take that 18% and invest a fraction of it in a training program like I offer, where I come in and train the team, if you invest a fraction of that, let's say you get half of their time back. So now you're only paying 9% of somebody's salary towards miscommunication instead of 18. You can pay for these type programs pretty quickly. And so there is a monetary ROI on investing in training communication for your team. That's for the bean counters in your audience that want to know, where's my money on this? The other thing that this does is it builds culture. You might say, I'm going to bring in this communication guy. We're going to do a training. I want my team to communicate more effectively. And while you may not monetize the ROI at the end, you may not see that money, you might see it in people that stick around longer, and you're not training new employees all the time, because now this is a place where we can have awkward conversations, where we can not be okay and still be valued, where we feel like my boss actually wants to know if I'm okay. My leader is actually investing in me. I tell companies all the time when I come in and train, I said, the communication tactics I'm going to teach you will make you a better wife, a better husband, a better mom, a better dad, a better friend. And it just might help you at work too. Because if I can make you a better human, then work automatically gets better. But at the end of the day, you were looking for a job when you found this one. And you'll get another job if this one doesn't work out. But the communication tactics will make all of your relationships better, and so will make you a happier person. And if that information was provided at this company, I'm going to be more loyal to this company because they cared enough to give me some skills that helped my marriage, that made me a better dad, that made me a better mom. My friends notice that I communicate differently now. I'm actually listening to their answers and I'm asking better questions. All of that has value that will never be captured on a company spreadsheet.